Come down to the office, fill out an application, then I was hired on the spot in 2003 at $7 an hour. I personally went down there, I paid that $1,200 out of that tax return, and I got trained to be a professional wrestler.
Basically, either you do it, you don't. And if you might fail a few times, but doesn't mean you cannot do it.
Right.
But that failure will be the path to the success, to achieve that dream, right?
Right.
You learn from it.
I fell flat on my back. I herniated my L4 and my L5. And my sciatic nerve down my right leg. I had temporary paralysis for 8 months. I couldn't walk on my right leg without the use of a cane. So it really brought everything to a halt. The leaks are hidden. Those are usually the ones that become the worst, and that's when it turns into mold remediation, because when the leak's hidden in the wall, you got a stagnant airspace and humidity.
Hello everyone, welcome to Make It Viral Media and Technology MIV podcast called Rise and Thrive. Let's find people's stories, specifically business owners, people who work hard and trying to rise above the general world and go up there and build something that they can be proud of. And we at Make It Viral Media Technology MIV podcast, we learn their story. So today we have another guest. His name is Jerold. Welcome, Jerold.
Hi, Viraj.
How are you doing today?
I'm very well, sir. How are you?
I'm very good as well. I'm fantastic. And it's another day morning. So I'd like to learn about you first. And before that, let's say your name. It's called Protegrity Restoration?
Protegrity Restoration. Yes,
That's the business name, guys.
Yes,
so
sir.
It's company name. So now tell me about you.
About me personally, I'm 41 years old. For the first part of my career after I graduated high school in 2003, I got into the plumbing industry. I did that for about 9.5 to 10 years, which, I'll be able to share, at our BNI group here in about 2 weeks about more of my story, too, with our group. But I started as a plumber for the first 9.5, 10 years of my life. And then I got introduced into property restoration. And I quickly learned that I love doing plumbing. But when you love what you do, you're going to continue to want to pursue it. And when I got into restoration, I found like a whole new love for the industry because, you're seeing something different every single day, even though that you're doing that with plumbing. When I was doing plumbing, I was doing more new construction.
Gotcha.
So it was basically the same thing over and over and over because, there were new build homes. And just because the colors on the outside of the house were different, the inside and the layouts were exactly the same. So, and there was a lot of layoffs that were kind of like with that kind of an industry. So not only did I find stability, I found, a newfound love for an industry that I can be proud of.
Be proud. Okay, so that is what your company does. And so you came as a plumber first, correct?
I came as a plumber, and the owner of the company of Protegrity Restoration, he was actually a plumber as well. So, me and him put our minds together with the other general manager that's a part of the company. And between all of our experience, between, the sales aspect of everything, the marketing and growing of the company, myself and the general manager both used to own our own restoration companies in the past. So we're able to build our minds together and create what we have today.
Right. So now, before you get into business or anything, right? You said if the plumbing was your first job.
First job ever out of high school. I was 18 years old as a plumber.
Really?
Yep.
Straight into the plumbing.
Yep. I was actually, it's kind of a funny story. I was at a Long John Silver, just filling out an application. I had just graduated high school, and a gentleman came in for his lunch break. He was working for Woody Tucker Plumbing. Still work, with them today, to this day. Not for them, but, we send each other work.
Yes.
And the project manager came over, gave me his business card and said, "You need to learn a trade. Come down to the office." Filled out an application, then I was hired on the spot in 2003 at $7 an hour.
2023.
No, in 2003.
Yeah,
in 2003, yeah. 23 years ago.
23 years
I'm aging
ago.
myself.
Don't mind that one. And straight from high school to the plumbing and trade industry, and you're still in trades.
Yes.
And where are you from, by the way?
I'm actually from Newport Richey, Florida.
Oh, you were born in Florida.
I'm born and raised here.
Right. Wow. Okay.
My entire family are from the Outer Banks of Detroit, Michigan.
Okay, they're from Michigan.
They're from Michigan, and they moved here around 83, early 84, and then I was born in 84, and I've been here my entire life.
Okay, so And you went to school here. You went, everything here.
Yeah. So the elementary school, the middle school, and the high school that I went to were all on the same road.
Okay.
So I never left what they call Cobra Way. Was our mascot. So.
So you were born and raised here and grew up here, and you straight to plumbing after high school, you said.
Yep.
And then how long we have been doing? You did plumbing. Now you don't do, but how long did you do
So I started doing property restoration in June of 2012. So I just eclipsed 14 years in the industry.
Oh, okay. 2012. So you joined plumbing 2003.
Right.
And then all that, about 10 years almost in plumbing industry. And then you got into the restoration industry.
Restoration world, yeah.
Now tell me about restoration. What is it?
Water damage restoration, it's basically anytime that there's any kind of leak inside of a home when it comes to water mitigation, is when you have a leak, whether it be from a plumbing company that's going out for a plumbing leak that's inside of your wall, underneath a cabinet, underneath the slab of the home, or underneath the crawl space of a home.
Yeah.
The mitigation portion of that is where we come in and we evaluate with moisture meter detecting devices, because just because you can't see the damage doesn't mean that the damage isn't there. We use state-of-the-art technology with protempeter moisture meters, thermal imaging cameras, so that we can educate and show our clients that even though you cleaned up the water, you still have other damage that's beyond what the eye can really see. And based on those evaluations, we make sure that we identify they want to pay for insurance. If we want to go through an insurance claim or just pay for it out of pocket, if it's not that large of a loss, that may not meet their deductible. So we're educating the customer to find out exactly what their need is, and get them down to what needs to be done to prevent their home from further damage.
Further damage, and it's not good if they can't find the leak, and that can ruin the whole house.
Exactly. When the leaks are hidden, those are usually the ones that become the worst, and that's when it turns into mold remediation, because when the leak's hidden in the wall, you got a stagnant airspace and humidity.
Yeah.
And your food source being whatever pipe is that was leaking, creating that mold festation inside of the wall cavities.
I see. So then you guys go and you find those leaks, and
we don't locate the leaks. The plumbers will do that, and they call us in.
Okay.
On that basis, and then we're able to educate the customer. Hey, your plumber fixed your leak, but what was going on inside of the wall? Now that your leak's been fixed, what about the damage as a result?
Damages, okay.
And that's just basically closing that loop for the customers. And making sure that the plumbers, doing a full. The word I'm looking for, making sure they're doing a full table for the customer. Really, it's like, okay, I fixed your leak, but I don't want to not tell you about the rest of your damage.
Okay,
let me help you. Like I got a guy that I can call. And and that's why we exactly.
So then you guys comes in and you restore the damage.
Yeah, we restore the damage. We remove materials that we know that are impacted that we're not going to be able to dry. Yeah, such as like a baseboard on a wall. Yeah, we got to pull that baseboard off so that the wall can breathe and place down our drying equipment to dry things out. Okay. So based on our moisture meter detection, the thermal imaging, once we get in there and we identify what we know on our experience of. Let's not try to dry something that we know that's not going to dry. Yes. We identify those bases and inform the customer so that we're not, wasting time on something that we know in our experience. Like, hey, this, we can try to dry it if that's what you want us to do. But, in experience, it's not going to. Gotcha. It's one of the biggest analogies that I use is take a sponge that you use, one of those Libman sponges. Yeah. You get it wet, you put it back on the counter. Yeah. It's going to dry. Yeah. But it's never going to go back down to its true form. Oh. Right? Because of what it looked like when you took it out of the package before you got it wet. Yes. So now it's going to be all scrunched up. So that's what will happen to a baseboard. That's what will happen to kitchen cabinets and vanities. That swelling type material that a particle would. Yeah, in the beginning when you mentioned something else came to my mind, a sponge. You're talking about the sponge, right? Right. A sponge itself, like on the back of a counter almost, if you will. That's, when you get that wet and then you get it dry, will it dry over time? 100%. Yes. But it's never going to have its kind of true structural integrity. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So then that way you guys, restore the value of the house and keep it happening. Yeah. We try to, it's kind of words that I make up. Minimalist, of course, is a word. I call ourselves minimalist, but necessariist. Yeah. I want to do what's minimum. Yeah. But I also want to do what's necessary for you to prevent your house. I'm basically like the doctor for your home. I need to make sure that your house remains healthy, so that you stay healthy.
So then, let's say somebody finds a water leak, and then they found a place like, just a little pipe is busted.
Mhm.
So, and they just fix it by themselves, right?
Right.
And they have no idea what damage they have done. Most people don't pay attention to those.
Correct, because it's hidden damage.
Yeah.
A lot of times, like it'll be up underneath tile flooring that could have seeped into a wall, or laminate flooring where you're walking on, you see the water, and people think that, oh, it's luxury vinyl plank, it's waterproof. That can be dried. That's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true, because once you have a vapor barrier system that goes underneath that floor, and once that water is trapped, the only way to get it out is to pull the floor. What truly happens with that waterproof flooring, if you spill a cup of water on the floor, you can clean it up. It's not going to swell. The old laminate flooring that used to be used and mass-produced, spill a cup of water on it, it's going to swell. That's the only difference between laminate and luxury vinyl plank.
Yes, but they still can get inside the wall, the floor.
It's still going to get up underneath the floor between those two barriers.
So even like, now I'm curious, like even if we split a cup of coffee or water, do we have to call you?
Not necessarily directly. Cup of coffee, cup of water, things like that. Probably not. It's when you got that leak that's up underneath of that floor, and that water's pushing up in between those materials. Or say, for instance, a toilet overflows and it's a massive amount of water. And you know that it got into those seams. There's a lot of different variables that kind of go into that.
What about them? Tile floor should be okay?
Tile floor is typically okay, but you still have to monitor it and knock on the tile. I call it, it's an old trick of the trade. They call it a broomstick knock. Where you take the broomstick and you drop it on the tile, and you're just kind of tapping it like a knock. And if you hear a hollow point,
hollow thud,
to where it's like a thud or hollow. When it's hollow, it's very possible, because of the amount of water that got up underneath that tile, that tile could be debonded.
Got it. Okay.
So, and what that means is the tile might be okay, but over time, because of its debonding, you're going to see tile splitting and cracking from it, because it ain't got nothing underneath of it supporting it other than the grout lines.
I see. So that's what you're coming in and do, fix all that issues.
So we don't fix the actual the damages. We only remove, dry, and remediate. So when people hear restoration, they think automatically that with restoration that we do reconstruction as well. So we're not a contractor that's attempting to be a contractor. We're a mitigation and remediation company. We have that perfected. We're not trying to do something that's not perfected.
I see.
Basically staying in our lane.
Gotcha. And do people from your knowledge and experience, do most people know about those things? Are they educated about those problems and issues that
Not necessarily, and that's kind of what the position that I took with Protegrity. So I started, like I was saying, in restoration from the ground up, where I was the technician, the chuck in the truck that's going out to the customer's house, evaluating that loss and actually doing the labor work on it. And I've got myself now to where I'm the business development manager of the company, and that's my job, is to educate what to look for, so that when our referral partners are referring us work, they know what to look for. They know how to educate the customer to get us out there. That's why we stand by our free evaluation. It costs nothing for Protegrity to come out. We probably go to about 1,500 to 2,000 customers a year. And it's okay if 200 or 300 of those people didn't need us. We're there for not only a peace of mind, but to make sure that their house is being taken care of and handled well.
So before you start doing anything in any mediations thing, you find out if this is something we have to do or not.
Absolutely. That's where the inspection comes in, with tracking where that moisture has gone. If you don't see water in the floor, a lot of times, there's still moisture that's in the walls or in the cabinets, that are unforeseen damages.
So then you find them, and then you kind of restore and dry them out.
Exactly. We identify what can be saved and what needs to be removed, so that we can save what can be saved.
Gotcha. Okay. So then these are the things that I think most Floridians should know, and especially whole USA.
I mean, we're the mold capital. I don't want to say the world, because I haven't been around the world, but we're the mold capital of the United States because of our humidity. There's other aspects, with mold remediation. It's not just from pipe leaks. Folks will leave out of town and they'll come back, from the summer. They shut their air off because they thought they were saving money. If I'm not home, I'm not going to run my air. They come back home and they got humidity balloons all over their house. Why? Well, we had a rainstorm. It was 95% humidity. Your house couldn't breathe.
Makes sense. And in Sri Lanka, it's totally different. That's why I wasn't really aware about the restoration thing. But here, I totally understand now.
Yeah.
Anyway, because we have a lot of wood involved.
We have a lot of porous materials.
Yeah, exactly. And in Sri Lanka, we build houses with completely straight from cement and bricks and plasters with cement. And, I have seen in our, country that people, when there's a flooding thing, flood warns come, they leave and they come back and they wash the whole house again and they live back again.
The structure itself is all concrete.
All concrete, yeah.
I have a gentleman that used to work for us. He actually just left us not too long ago. Eddie, he was from Venezuela, and he explained to me that's kind of how it was in Venezuela too.
Yeah,
everything is either morter, concrete, plaster, etc. So
yeah, exactly.
The only thing that was wood was like the cabinets and stuff like that.
Only furniture get damaged.
Go throw that out and get new. You got to worry about mold there.
Exactly.
As long as you toss the cabinet out.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. Okay, I'm here. It makes sense completely. Even here, drywalls and everything. It needs that service here. So now let's get back to you. How were you planning to get into business and do work like this when you were in high school? What was your dream?
What my dream was, I lost. On an emotional note, I lost my grandmother when I was 16 years old, and I was in ROTC in high school, which is like the Army program.
Yes.
Is what we had.
Yes.
And I dropped out of that shortly after her passing away. But my dream was to go into the military. In the military. But after my grandmother had passed away, I kind of lost my will to go down that route because she just basically wasn't here anymore, and just being young and not mature enough to realize that even though she wasn't here physically, that she still would have been looking down on me, and proud if I would have went that route, but obviously proud no matter what route I choose.
Yes.
And I thought about that for years, and in 2008, I went through a layoff and I almost joined the Marines. And I was about 2 weeks away from going into PT training and being sent overseas. And they asked me one last time, as they all do, like the recruitment office, are you sure this is what you want to do?
Yes.
And I backed off again.
Okay.
And then I got back into plumbing. I did this, I did that, and then led myself into restoration. And then, and every little boy's got a dream, and I was a huge professional wrestler. I'm still to this day a huge professional wrestling
fan. Okay.
So
I thought you do wrestling.
So that's what I'm going to get into. So in 2010, I got my tax return and I was like, okay, this is cool. I got $1,200 back, and I saw that there was a training in South Tampa called FCW, which at the time was Florida Championship Wrestling. I personally went down there. I paid that $1,200 out of that tax return, and I got trained to be a professional wrestler.
Oh, we did?
Yep. I did a 3-month course there, a beginner's class, and learned the ins and outs and the actual, they call it the fourth wall in wrestling, what they don't tell you about on television. So I took those 3 months, and then I ran the indie circuit for about 3.5 years, where I traveled all over the state of Florida. Wrestling at different venues and never got recognized.
Yes.
But what ended up halting that career and that dream, I don't want to call it halting the career, because I got to do something that I said that I always wanted to do.
Yes.
So when I ended up getting hurt at home, my ex-wife was mopping the floors at the house. I chased the dog to the house.
Yes.
I fell flat on my back.
Oh.
I herniated my L4 and my L5.
Oh.
And my sciatic nerve down my right leg. I had temporary paralysis for 8 months. I couldn't walk on my right leg without the use of a cane. So it really brought everything to a halt, even in the midst of me doing that and doing restoration and the transition from plumbing to restoration. And I'm like, man, this is a dream that I was chasing, and now I had to take a step back.
Yes.
And be off my feet for about 2 years. I was on a light duty case where I was seeking chiropractic care. That's also something I was going to share with that BNI too. You'll get to hear a little bit more about that, and if you want to, we can go as far into it today too. But, what I always encourage everybody is, if you have a dream, chase it.
Chase it.
You know what I mean? Like, don't let anybody tell you you can't, because, can't, for me, everybody says, how the compound word to can't is cannot.
Yes.
The compound for can't to me is can to.
Can to.
Because if you haven't tried, you never could, never would.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll never know if you should.
Yes, so. Definitely. Yes, I don't believe that word is like cannot, is impossible. I don't believe in those two.
You definitely cannot if you don't try.
Exactly, yeah. Like basically, either you do it, you don't, and if you might fail a few times, but doesn't mean you cannot do it.
Right.
But that failure will be the path to success. You know, to achieve that dream. Right.
Right.
You learn from it and go push forward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and with me getting hurt, everything happens for a reason. I had 2 kids with my ex-wife, you know, and then when I hurt my back and all of that, and I tried to get back into the wrestling regime, I went through my divorce. And the way that I look at it is I try to find the positivity in everything. Is if I never would have hurt my back and I would have pursued my wrestling career, I would have never met my now wife that I have now, Kelly, my beautiful wife, Kelly.
Yeah.
And, you know, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
With everything. So
yes. Now you are very well, you know, running, you know, this part of your business that you are responsible for this protegrity.
Yeah.
Integrity.
Say it 5 times fast, right?
Protegrity. You know, and now I know you're doing a lot of networking events, and I met you at BNI as well. And tell me about your networking experience.
My networking experience, I've always had a really good connection with plumbers because I have a plumbing background.
Yes.
And I can relate to them. So I'm not just, you know, a sales guy knocking on their door.
Yes.
I can talk to them about the jobs that they're going to. So it makes it a real easy conversation versus, you know, because there's so many restoration companies that are out there. It's a saturated market. There's only so many plumbers that will actually talk to a restoration company because, and when you can relate to somebody with my background, they're more apt to like want to have that conversation.
Yes. So, nice. So
with the networking opportunities, I was in BNI in 2023 over in Clearwater. I do not remember the name of the chapter. Forgive me, Spencer, if you see this. And the storms hit. And the company of Protegrity, we were not at the size that we are today. So I had to choose. I need to go help the public, or can I go to BNI? And I couldn't make time for BNI at that moment.
Right.
You know, it's since 2023 to today, we've doubled in capacity.
Wow.
As far as employees, trucks on the road, to where I can do more of the networking and the full-time marketing for the company and growing it, you know, to what we're doing today.
Yeah. So now, since you talk about what you do for the company, what do you really do? What personally you?
So as business development manager that I've basically bred myself into, you know, I have all the strengths in all of the restoration, but, you know, the ownership of the company, they're like, hey, this is where your biggest strength is, because, you know, you have that not just the work ethic, but you have that background with the plumbing. And, you know, I would say probably 85% of our work does come from plumbing companies, because everybody gets a leak at their house, and the first thing to think of, I got to call a plumber. So that's why we call, you know, that's why our true to market is. But as a business development manager, we have Ali, underneath of me, Alex, who we just hired, Mike, who we just hired. So we just hired 3 marketers within the last 90 days.
Wow.
So we're at a point with the company where we're taking our profits from the company and we're scaling ourselves so that we can kind of look outside of that network of just being in like the BNI groups or just the plumbers. There's so many other opportunities out there.
Wow.
You know, you're somebody that I can market to, because you talk to people every day. You talk to business owners. You know, property managers, you have the realtors, you have the NPI groups, the BNI groups. Being the owner of the company, we were talking this week and said, you know, every single one of our marketers, they need to join some kind of networking group, whether it be Chamber of Commerce, NPI, BNI. We don't care. So that way it helps you build a book of business, and it makes you think outside of the box. So that way you're not just trajectory and you're doing the same thing over and over on force of habit. You know, and BNI has been huge for me, you know.
I know you're very active on BNI.
In 7 months, I mean, everybody knows what what you pay in to be into BNI. But it doesn't matter what you pay into BNI. It's what you're trying to give to BNI to get BNI to get to you. You know, and I've 100x'd our money in 7 months.
Wow.
You know, with referrals and the amount of jobs that I've gotten back, with the giver's gain aspect of everything. So
nice.
You only get what you give. And you know, everybody's like, oh, that's cliche if people are saying that, but the giver's gain is, you know, it's not a cliche term, and all of the core values, it's a fact of life. They're there for a reason. You know.
Yeah, definitely. I'm enjoying learning about businesses in the area and BNI stuff as well, networking. I'm new to BNI. This is my first year in BNI.
Okay.
And networking is something that I have been doing with other people everywhere. I like to explore everywhere, everyone, anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good place to meet new business owners and even other businesses and get to know what they do.
Absolutely.
And learn from it,
You get to connect with them too, and it's people that maybe wouldn't have talked to you before, but now that they know you're in that networking group,
exactly.
Now they know that you're vetted and you're credible.
Yes.
And you'll remain visible.
Yes.
And
yes. And then build a lifelong, strong connection.
Absolutely.
That happens. Yeah, exactly.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Like when anything that I do, I put all my heart and soul into.
Yeah.
So like I'm one of those, I buy in.
Yes.
If I bought in, and I'm paying for BNI, I'm going to show up to BNI every week. If I'm not there, I'm on vacation or I'm dead. If I'm being honest. or I'm definitely ill. Even then there's been times where I've showed up to BNI and I stand back from people and they're like, hey, what's the matter? I'm like, I got a little bit of something going on here, so stay back. Nice. So I kind of think what I have seen from you, and you really enjoy what you do. Very, very, very much so. Yeah. And not every company is perfect. Not every human body is perfect either. Yeah. And I genuinely enjoy every aspect of the work that I do. And my wife, Kelly, when you watch this, she'll even say, I don't know how to turn it off either. Where I'll come home or I'll wake up and I'll start working. I'll get home and I'll eat dinner and then I'll go back to working again. So that's one of my biggest challenges is I don't know how to shut off. You got alcoholics and you got drug addicts. I'm a workaholic.
Yeah.
So I don't know when to really shut it down because you're just always thinking of that next move.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I lose sleep over it. So when I do sleep, it's usually on the weekends where I'm catching up on the sleep, but then it's right back at it. It's just, you never stop.
Yeah. That's how it goes. Yeah.
You can't teach work ethic.
No, you cannot. No. And that's your discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now you working in this industry and you travel everywhere, you meet new people. Mm-hmm. Why are you doing these things?
Why?
Yeah. What is your why?
What's my why? Wow. That's pretty deep. And to be honest, I did the ChatGPT challenge with what Spencer Reynolds says to do is go to ChatGPT and ask it 20 questions to ask you 20 questions. And basically what my why is, I'm a provider, and if I'm not providing, I feel like I'm not only failing myself, but my family or the people around me. Yeah. So my biggest why is if I don't get up and I don't go to work every day, and if I'm not here on Earth, I want to make a footprint. Basically, what they say is a footprint on the moon.
Yes.
I want to be remembered for something that I've done and not only made like a lasting impact, but I want to make a difference.
Yeah.
And that's the sole reason why Eric, and I'm sure when he sees that Eric is the owner of Protegrity Restoration, is that he doesn't do it for the money. It's really not about the money. He wants to do things the right way. Me and him came from the same company that we both worked for and said, we see what's being done wrong. We're not going to be perfect by any means.
Yes.
But let's go do everything the right way where we see what was being done wrong. Yeah. And then just learn from everything as we go. Nice. He never had any kind of will to where he wanted to, what am I going to do? Let's start a restoration company. Never would have thought of it.
Yeah.
But between his experience, my experience, and the others that brought into the company when we were born, our first date in the company, the first job that we ever got was on January 22nd of 2022.
Wow. Okay.
So just over 4.5 years, the company is doing between $4 and $6 million a year on average.
Wow.
Congratulations. And the one thing about Eric is he's not afraid to spend money to make money. Yeah. So we make sure that we have the state-of-the-art equipment, state-of-the-art vans, and then roll the profit back into the company. Where can we grow it to the next level?
Gotcha.
Rather than, he could lace his pockets all day long.
Yes.
But he's making sure that the guys are paid well. Yeah. We have the utmost equipment and the customers are taken care of the right way.
Yeah, I see.
No matter what it takes.
Okay, yeah. So what do you guys do to educate people about these services and how important this is to be considered? Not just fixing the plumbing thing. You have a lot of issues behind it that you might
So, so it's basically just educating. When the plumber gets us out to the property, we got to educate that customer why the plumber said that we needed to be there.
Oh, plumber tell them to have you guys.
Exactly. So say, for instance, we get a plumber that calls us and they say, hey, Mrs. Jones had a water leak here. I'm going to put you on the phone with her. I can fix the leak, but I can't fix the resulting damage.
Yeah.
When can you be out here?
Okay.
And I have a guaranteed with our company 24/7 that we have a 2-hour response time of our coverage area. Yes. The moment that call comes in, I guarantee to have a technician or one of our loss assessment specialists on that property within 2 hours.
So then having your greatest referral network is plumbers.
Plumbers is my biggest referral network out there because, again, they're the ones that get called out usually for a leak. And sometimes the plumber will get there and there's not a leak. It's an AC related issue. So, HVAC companies as well that we market to, they don't see a lot of it because a lot of it's just routine maintenance, but condensate lines do back up and create damage as well.
Yes.
The air handlers freeze up and then they can't keep up with the water after it thaws out to go down that small drain line. So there's so many different, animals to really attack out there to where you can draw in your business with your networking. It's, just kind of like jumping outside the box and finding out that your true market to value isn't just solely in one lane.
Okay.
Sort of like when you drive through Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah. You got 3 lanes down here. They have 6 on each side.
The 6 on each side. Yes.
You know what I mean? 12-lane highway.
Yes. Definitely.
That's what I say. I break it down for all of our marketers and business developers, per se, that don't stay to one tune.
Yes.
If I did BNI 40 hours a week.
Yes.
I probably wouldn't pull. I would probably pull more business from BNI, but I'm only keeping myself in one lane. So I break myself up each day throughout the week of what I'm going to do for the targeted market. And it's okay to get 100 no's in a week.
Yes,
it just takes that one yes, and you can't let those 100 no's let you down. It just needs to motivate you to go to the next one.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So that's why you do business.
That's why I do business, man. I want to make a difference. And there's too many companies out there where they create a bad taste in the mouth where you'll get some customers that you'll call them and you're like, no, I had a bad experience with another company. I'll just take care of it myself. And, you really got to educate and just restore that faith that, we're not like everybody. We're not like the green trucks that are on the road. We're independently owned and operated.
So if somebody has a leak and then they fix it, should they call you just to have an evaluation?
Absolutely. If there's somebody that's out there that's got a leak or they see water that's on the floor, I'm not sure what plumber to call. And they want a moisture evaluation, they're concerned about mold. Some people are a lot more, they have a lot more allergies to water damage and they know what's going to come of water. Some people that are educated, whether they're going to Google, oh my God, what can happen? And they kind of get freaked out. We work within a range of plumbers. I probably have 200 phone numbers in my phone of just plumbers, individual plumbers that we can recommend to them to make sure that they're going to get their leak fixed, and then we're already there for the water damage.
So it's good. Then if you see a water leak at your home, call
Protegrity Restoration because we may not be able to find the leak, but we'll be able to help identify if a lot of times if there's water that's up a wall on our moisture meter and our thermal 2 feet up the wall, it's very likely that leaks inside the wall and not underneath the slab. Because not all plumbing companies do leak detection. They'll come out there and look around, and if they don't feel or hear or see it, they're going to call in another person. Where I can put a thermal image on the wall and it shows that it's hot. Well, I know it's a hot pipe. And it's 2 feet up the wall. Let's cut open that little section of the wall, and I guarantee it, the water's spraying at your face. How do I know? Experience. I've been there. Where you save that money on the $400 that most companies charge just to locate a leak, and that's not even repairing the leak.
Wow.
Not every time will we win on that, but it'll kind of help us get into the direction.
Gotcha. So then now you know why you need to call Protegrity
Restoration.
You'll
get it right, Viraj. It's okay, my friend.
Protegrity, right?
Protegrity.
Okay. Protegrity.
There you go.
So Protegrity. Okay. Right?
Nope.
No?
You said it wrong again. When you say it slower, you get it. It's Protegrity.
Protegrity.
There you go.
Okay. Protegrity. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Yep. I think I should be slow. So saying that, man.
Some of the words with, because you speak 2 languages, I assume, right?
I speak 3 languages.
3 languages?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I speak Sinhalese, English, and Hindi.
Okay. Yeah. See? I speak English. sometimes I can understand Spanish a little bit, but it's really cool. And, it's a big value when people can speak multiple languages.
I want to learn Spanish and Tamil.
And what?
Tamil is another South Indian language.
Okay. Never heard of that one.
Yeah, because we have people in Sri Lanka on north side and they're Tamil. I want to be able to convey a message to them, talk to them. Anyway, so nice. So from high school straight to plumbing, and then
got into property restoration. I still remember the first phone call, and it's the gentleman that we just hired with the company, Ryan. I was walking to a Walmart one day, and I just happened to see him loading his groceries into his vehicle. And he said, "Hey, man, how's it going? Haven't seen you since high school, yada, yada, small talk." I'm like, "Well, not much. Honestly, just got laid off last week." And he said, "Well, what do you think about property restoration?" I said, "Well, what's that?" Didn't know a thing about it. And he's just like, "Well, I'm working for a company over here in Tampa, and we are hiring." I'm like, "I don't know a thing about that stuff." Because it's okay, we'll train you.
Yeah.
He got me into the restoration world.
And then, here we go.
Yeah, I started at $12.50 an hour in the trade, and I picked up on it fast. I'm a lifelong learner, just like B&I teaches us. And, I picked up on everything quick, and I'm just like, all right, I'm not just going to be the chuck in a truck. Like, I see myself doing this for a long time because I genuinely enjoyed when people have a disaster that's occurring at their home, they don't know what to do. They need somebody to lean on that knows what they're doing.
That is you never know who you meet and what opportunities come with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've met multiple customers like that where, you just ask them what they do. I've met customers that were in the CIA, and you do such a good job for them that, when you first meet a customer, they don't want to tell you everything that they do.
Yes.
But then you did such a good job. And this is a specific customer. Her name was Ann down in Riverview. I wasn't working for that customer anymore or for that company anymore.
Yeah.
That customer had another loss in her home. She literally told me that she called almost every restoration company knowing that I was still in the industry until she found out that I worked there. To have me come back to her house for another loss that she had.
Oh, wow. So then that's how you find
it's just how you conduct yourself in business. People are going to recognize that.
Yeah. Nice. Great. Good story. And now you're enjoying the business, doing work, and that's how he made his path.
That's how I've carved my past, man.
Yeah.
It's property. I honestly don't see myself ever doing anything else. I'm a big proponent in that if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah. So now, what would be your advice to people who want to start, their dream job or find something that they're passionate about?
If you're passionate about it, do it. The only person that's holding yourself back is you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
My ex-wife, when I was wanting to do professional wrestling, she goes, "You sure you really want to do this? You sure you want to do that?" I made up my mind in 1994 that I was going to do professional wrestling. When I first time I saw it on television. Dad, I want to do that. Okay, pursue your dreams. I was encouraged.
And then you did it.
And I did it. It took a little bit longer than I expected, but there's not a lot of people that can go back and say,
yes,
I'm just at a job because it pays the bills.
Yeah.
I don't consider my job at Protegrity a job. I call it my career.
Definitely. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people out there that just show up to work, they get their paycheck on Friday and they forget work.
And then forget about work. Yes. Yes. I think it's a part of life, and you have to enjoy what you're doing. Otherwise, your life is going to be.
If you're miserable, that miserable is going to spread and create negativity. It's
every morning you wake up to something that you don't want to do. That's not good life.
Not at all. Trust me, there's been trying times. I mean, when the hurricane hit in 2024, I'm such, I'm a hard on the sleeve guy. So with doing restoration as long as I have I worked other hurricanes? Yes. And have I been in Florida my entire life? Also, yes, and seen all of it. But to see it on the front lines after the hurricane had impacted, I'm not sure if anybody or you saw what Clearwater Beach looked like.
I don't remember that one.
When I was driving the beaches of Clearwater Beach, seeing 6 feet of sand in the roadways, and watching people pull their things out of their house, everything that they've ever lived and worked for and valuables out to the curb. It made me resonate that this is why I do this, because they're pulling all of their belongings and they need somebody like me to help them with their home. And somebody that's not just going to go in there and help them at their house, but somebody that's going to be there and help be understanding and empathetic in that situation. And I specifically remember a certain day that I was out there in the field, and it was about a week or two after Hurricane Helene had hit, and I had to call my wife because I broke down.
Cool.
It was really taxing. So like, I was working 20-hour days, sometimes not even going home.
Yeah.
Because my wife's like, you need to come home, you need to sleep, you need to do this. And I quickly realized, like, this isn't just my job, this isn't my career.
Mm-hmm.
Not just my career, this is my passion.
I see.
I said, these people need me.
Got it.
I have a home to go to.
Mm-hmm.
They need me here so that they can come back home too.
Mm.
You know, and I'm getting emotional about it right now again.
Yeah.
And when I called my wife, Kelly, I said, you know, I just had a breakdown moment where I was in tears.
Yeah.
And she said, it's okay. You can vent to me. I'm like, what I was struggling with, and I even on Facebook Live, I'd have to find the video.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just like, I get to go home. I have a house that I can go turn the lights on.
Yeah.
These people just lost everything that they've ever worked for. You know, and it was really trying on me. And I was just like, I'm always like, all right, yeah, just come on home. So I went home. I listened to her that day.
Yeah.
But after I relaxed and, you know, got out of that mental issue where I was just like, oh my God, you know, it just was really taxing. And it was probably the lack of sleep, you know, and all of that played a big factor in it too. But I was just like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And after that day of going home and just getting some rest, I just went right back out there.
Yeah.
I said, these people need me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to be home.
Yeah.
If I'm not out there making a difference and helping these people out, there's going to be these companies that fly from out of town. They're going to be down here and taking advantage of our residents.
Yes.
You know, you need those companies like here in the Tampa Bay area that stick in Tampa Bay area.
Yeah.
They're not just, you know, a fly-by-night, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yes. Wow. That's a very sensitive story.
It's really passionate, man.
Yeah.
Just to sit, it was in Clearwater Beach. It was 3 houses down from Hulk Hogan's home.
Yeah.
And watching all of these folks, you know, that were extremely wealthy, just dragging all of their things to the curb.
Yeah.
That, like, you just got to stop for a minute and go, wow.
Yeah.
This is a true disaster. You're just responding to working your career at the moment. And when you take that step back, you're just like...
Yeah, I mean, things happen in life in the world. Do you remember, you know, tsunami?
Yeah.
And Sri Lanka, we lost 100,000 people.
Really?
Yep. Hundreds of people, housing, everything is gone. That's natural nature, you know. What can we do?
I assume, you know, it's Sri Lanka. It's on the coast of the ocean, I assume. Or?
Yeah, Sri Lanka is in the middle of the Indian Ocean.
Okay.
And it's the southeast side of the India, but it's not India.
Right.
Sri Lanka is a separate country.
It's got its own country.
Yeah, its own country, big island, and surrounded by the ocean. And we got hit from everywhere.
Are they like a large island, almost like the Bahamas, if you will? Or is it much bigger than that?
I don't know how big Bahamas is, but I have never seen that.
Well, what's your population there?
22 million people now.
Okay, that's a lot of people then.
Yeah, but remember, the Sri Lanka, like Florida state itself, is 2.5 bigger than Sri Lanka.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But Sri Lanka is pretty beautiful.
Yeah.
Geographically, it's amazing. I love there.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, that's, you know, Indonesia lost 300,000 people. India lost 100,000 people. We lost...
From the tsunami?
From tsunami.
When did that happen?
2004, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes, 2004.
My goodness.
Yeah.
And what creates the tsunamis there? Like, is it just about the earthquakes?
Earthquake, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, big earthquake. And I think 8.5 earthquake happened closer to Indonesia in the Indian Ocean. And then it hit Thailand, India.
Just giant flash flooding.
Well, yeah, oh my goodness.
Turns everything into a river.
40 feet high water comes from hot water. Yeah.
Wow.
40 tons of rocks came out of the ocean.
Holy cow.
That's what I heard. Yeah, it was bad.
You were still living there in Sri Lanka when that happened? Or?
Yeah, I was. I was a kid, and I was like, my area, I lived maybe 50, maybe not 20 actually. Maybe 30, 40 miles away from the ocean. Like I can get to the ocean within an hour, less than an hour.
It'd be like us driving to Clearwater Beach from where we're at right now,
exactly. Right like that. Yeah,
right.
Exactly. But you know, that didn't come that far to the country, but it damaged a lot. Yeah. So
were you impacted by the?
No.
It didn't go that far in.
No.
That's good.
It did not. And then, but sad thing was like it hit a whole country because some people were traveling for vacations and they were on the beach and
they're out on the beach and got devastated. Oh my gosh!
One person I remember closer to my place, he lost everyone but himself.
Wow!
Right in front of his eyes.
That's terrible.
He was able to grab something, but his kids couldn't. And he lost his kids right in front of his eyes. He saw them drowning right
now. Just taken away by an actual disaster.
Yeah, he tried to kill himself. I think he did kill himself later.
That's sad.
Yeah, he couldn't live with it.
That's very hard.
There's so many stories like that. Anyway, let's get back.
It's just absolutely crazy, you know, like just being here in the United States and just basically being Florida bound, you know, you don't think about what other things happen. Like my wife, she's from California. She told me about all the earthquakes, you know, like you look up and you see a chandelier moving and it's like up there and there's a mudslide somewhere, you know, and it's just like you don't know what you don't know, you know, and that's what BNI teaches you guys as well, that you know, you're not really aware other than if you don't look outside of the box.
No, you need to learn more than out of this country.
Yeah, because the only thing I know is hurricanes, and my wife not being from here, she freaks out when a hurricane hits, and I'm like, I've never ran from one.
Yes.
I literally have never ran from one in about the 41 years I've been alive.
Yes. And I wasn't either, but I learned when the hurricane came.
Everybody's like, oh my God, evacuate. Now, if I live down in Fort Lauderdale or Miami, that might be a little different story, but based on the records of Tampa, we haven't had a direct hit in 121 years.
Exactly. Only Milton, I was a little bit felt like Milton.
That's high winds.
I felt the Milton, but before that,
I was waiting for my roof to get blown off.
Yeah, that's the only one I felt, but other ones did not.
Yeah.
And I mean, this area we're living in, Tampa Bay, is kind of protected. It's really nice. Yeah.
It's that bay that helps us out really well with the jet stream.
Yeah. Exactly. We are protected because of that geographical location, and it's really safe. And that's why I'm not afraid of.
I wouldn't live anywhere else.
Yeah, exactly. I love Tampa. Anyway, so we have a very honest and nice restoration company here. Yeah. So why should we live here?
I mean, with restoration, like with Protegrity Restoration, you're going to get an honest and genuine evaluation on every property. We're never going to tell you something that you need that you don't need.
You don't need it. Yeah, that's the other thing that you need to be careful with, because the people sometimes they try to sell things that you don't need.
You know, somebody's going to come in there and try to make something more damage than what it is.
Yes.
There's general contractors out there that's like, oh, I want to do restoration.
Yes.
And they'll go do the restoration and make the job bigger than it needs to be to make their money on the rebuild side.
Yes.
Which that's okay to do, but make sure that you document it. And there's just too many companies out there, and I won't say their names. They know who they are. That are doing those things. And to be honest, that's why we don't want to be a general contractor, because we don't want to be sought after just like that as well.
Just like
we'd rather just partner with the companies that we vet and make sure that they're going to do an excellent job as we carry them over to.
Yes,
you know, because our reputation, everybody's reputation's on the line.
Nice. And so you guys both basically like mostly do direct marketing, like person to person, and
we do a little bit of SEO, you know, with Google LSA, which is a local service. And then our Google reviews we're really huge on. I think we're at about 648 reviews right now.
5-star, okay, nice.
Wow, 5-star reviews. We're at like a 4.9 rating right now. Can't keep everybody happy.
No, I don't.
You know, if anybody says that they're keeping everybody happy, I hate to say it, you're lying.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Because it just doesn't happen.
Yes.
But, you know, we really built our company on integrity. You know, and if there's nothing there, there's nothing there. And if there's something there, educate and let them make their decision. It's almost like taking a horse to water. You can lead them to it. You can't make them take the drink.
No,
let them know what their options are.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that happens. That's nothing to worry about. But great job, Jerold. And I
appreciate you having me.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And I think you know, I got to learn about you, and I hope everybody who listened to this one also will learn about you and your company. I think that is what is most important thing, and we are sharing our knowledge and experience and what we do, so somebody else will benefit this information to make their life better, and go and get that, and then learn how other people did, and then find your way, because everybody doesn't have the same path as other people, right? Doesn't matter, like, you know, who you will look up to, you cannot take the same path to be that person, and you're going to find your own path.
Absolutely. And carve your own path, and you just do what's right, and everything else will just come back to you.
Exactly. You know? Learning other people's stories, learning how things being done by other people helps you to make your path more sharper.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's the biggest thing, guys. You know, in water damage restoration, you know, a lot of people don't realize that just because a leak's hidden in the wall, it doesn't mean that leak just started.
Yes.
You know, and that's why we make sure that we do a comprehensive evaluation
Yes.
to ensure that they're getting that right evaluation so they know. Because say, for instance, you're inside of a kitchen and you're evaluating a loss, but you have an adjacent bathroom or living room.
Mm-hmm.
Water is, as we all know, it's an travel path of least resistance.
Yeah.
You need to, when we do our evaluations, we're going to check all 360 areas of wherever that leak that we know where it was at, and check those adjacent areas to ensure that we're capitalizing on making sure your house stays healthy.
Nice.
Because in the restoration industry, we have a mold license, but you also have what's called an air and pollution license.
Oh, okay.
In air and pollution, when we leave a job, we need to make sure that we did that job correctly. And when we hire a hygienist to do that work, we need to make sure that we're following through with everything that we capture.
Oh,
okay. Something else comes back, there's a lot of liability that comes into that.
Yes.
Because to be honest, we're basically your doctor of your house, and we need to basically sign off and say now your house is healthy. You don't need the medicine anymore.
Live in a healthy house, guys. So thank you very much for sharing your story and sharing everything. And then I really try to take care of my clients and everything that we do, and I have stories like that same thing, and some people have ripped people off and done nothing, and now we have to fix it.
Yeah,
they come to us.
The biggest thing is be ethical.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Mostly like these people, that now our industry, some people go for freelancers to save money, but long term they're not saving money.
No,
they're wasting money
because then they're going to come back over to you.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Now you're fixing the freelancer that doesn't have the education that you may have.
Problem is like people who they hire freelancers from out of the country, they don't have a good knowledge and how things work here in the US, the psychology and the market and everything. They can't provide the right tool, right way to put things together.
Right.
That's another drawback. And the other one is some people you don't even know that much, and you cannot personally connect with them. They just do the work and get the money.
Exactly.
And then the work might not be the really productive work.
Exactly.
And now recently somebody made a website from freelancer, and it's just a graphic site. So everything is graphic. There's no titles, nothing, and that doesn't rank on Google.
Right.
And that's not going to help.
So it's almost like having Claude or ChatGPT build your website for you.
Exactly. That would do better than that.
It's a lot more than copy and paste.
Exactly.
You've learned what works and what does not, so that way everything is done correctly and you're going to get, proven results.
Exactly. Yeah, and at Make It Viral Media and Technology, we provide proper web designs and marketing services, and we build the technology. We use hand-coded websites, and that rank really well higher. And then we provide not only just the website, we provide the whole growth system, not just traffic channels at the same time. And we build all the traffic channels, right? And then we plug them into your pipelines, and then they get nourished, and then make sure you're getting with the clients and you don't lose anybody. And then until the closing deal and everything. And then you're supposed to get the deal done.
It's basically, creating your visibility and then creating traffic.
Exactly. Not just one thing. We build the whole entire system. We analyze everything that you need and you have.
Right.
And then we optimize every channels, and then we get into the pipeline, right? And then, get the deal. You're getting customers, and then you just need to get your appointment done and
Absolutely.
give them the service or sell the product.
Yeah.
So that's what we do, and that's what I love to do, and I enjoy doing that.
I can tell.
Yeah, exactly.
I can absolutely tell. I remember when we had lunch that one day, you were helping build a website for a gentleman, and he got his first call from it. So, you got a proven track record. And
exactly.
Everybody that I know that, within BNI all talks about, your hard work and your dedication. So
exactly. And even the guy next to us, they came to us like a line painting, and they're getting more call from ChatGPT now.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, we do LSA as well, like all that. But, what I meant to say was like helping people, client, your client, taking care of them very well, being honest and being true to yourself. And that gives a gift that rewards you with joy and happiness.
Absolutely.
That's another reason that
what you did just helped somebody else, and that what you're doing is working.
Exactly.
Then knowing when something doesn't work to adapt.
Exactly.
And, make change. It's like, okay, well, this, not reinventing the wheel, because all the wheels will always be round.
Yes.
But, you know,
But
it's just,
yeah.
okay, you know, let's tweak this or tweak that, you know, and
Exactly.
it all has to do with keywords and all of that, and what
and
is
also,
built into the website.
Yeah, when it comes to like wheels, like let's say tires, and then you have to match tires with the horsepower of the engine. And engines, and like sometimes some tires cannot be run on a smaller engine. They're big, wider,
right,
powerful.
Absolutely.
So you have an engine really good, and then according to your capacity, you need to make your wheels alignment right.
Absolutely. I know about that. I used to have a big truck that has a big giant tires on it. I'm like, oh boy.
So it's same thing. Yeah, same thing with life too. You need to know how much your capacity, and you can expand your capacity.
Absolutely.
And that's how you're gonna go. You cannot have a little tiny engine and then have a big wheels on it, and that's not gonna work.
Yeah, it's just about networking and educating, your client, and educating the person that you're speaking to, and how can I help you?
Yes.
And I know by helping you, and it's the giver's gain aspect of everything. Of when I give business to Viraj will then give business to others, and then it's all just going to come into a snowball. Like if I recommend you to somebody, you may help that person, but then when you're talking to that person, you may be able to help that one person with 3 other members that are in our BNI group.
Yes.
So
definitely, exactly. It helps. It's like a chain. It's clicking and then helping each other and then grow together.
Mm-hmm.
And then the nice thing is, like, then if something goes wrong, we always can talk and fix it.
Absolutely.
It's not like, oh no, that is it. No. We always fix it.
Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect. Anything can go wrong,
Absolutely. We all make mistakes. It's how you learn from it and grow from it.
Exactly. That's why you document it. If you make a mistake and something happened, we want to make sure that we documented it, and we should not do it again.
Right. Learn from the mistakes.
Yes, exactly. All right, guys, and we learn wonderful story of Jerold.
Yes.
Right, and then he's from Protegrity.
Yep.
Restoration, and call him and his company if you have any leaks and anything like that. Then they will make your house healthy. So, and now we are going to end this episode as well. Another story we heard and we learned and get some insight from it. Hope it helped you as well. Learn something good and nice and motivated as well. So now make sure you subscribe to our channel. Please do not leave without subscribing, and also like and share, and stay tuned on our channel. We also have short videos come from this, and that helps us to keep things remembered and learn about other people. So now, until we meet again, have a great day and take care. Thank you very much for watching us.